So Mamdani, mayor of the guy that wants to be the mayor of New York. Trump deportation threat. We won't accept this intimidation. Rob, do you have the clip of Trump talking about deporting him? Let's start off with that one first. Here's President Trump. Go for it.
Your beloved New York City may well be led by a communist soon, Zohran Mamdani, who in his nomination speech said he will defy ICE and will not allow ICE to arrest criminal aliens in New York City. Your message to communist Zohran Mamdani?
Well, then we'll have to arrest him. Look, we don't need a communist in this country, but if we have one, I'm going to be watching over him very carefully on behalf of the nation. We send him money. We send him all the things that he needs to run a government. And by the way, they get about 3 times what you get, Ron. If you look at the per capita, Florida gets 1/3 of what New York gets in terms of the numbers. Why don't you give us those numbers?
Yeah, well,
because that's what we should send him.
Yeah, well, like sometimes people say Florida gets more because they count Social Security recipients, but that's not money to the state. Those are seniors that live here. If they moved to North Carolina, you could count it there. So it has no interaction with the state government. They get more in the city and state governments than we get.
Right, substantially. We're going to be watching that very carefully, and a lot of people are saying he's here illegally. He's, we're going to look at everything, and ideally. He's going to turn out to be much less than a communist. But right now, he's a communist. That's not a socialist.
All right, so that's the president saying that. And then this is, by the way, the guy I was talking about earlier was Gilberto Casab. And this is him responding to President Trump. Go for it.
Yesterday, Donald Trump said that I should be arrested. He said that I should be deported. He said that I should be denaturalized. And he said those things about me, someone who stands to be the first immigrant mayor of this city in generations, someone who would also be the first Muslim and the first South Asian mayor in this city's history. Less so because of who I am, because of where I come from, because of how I look or how I speak, and more so because he wants to distract from what I fight for. I fight for working people. I fight for the very people that have been priced out of this city, and I fight for the same people that he said he was fighting for. This is the same president who ran on a campaign of cheaper groceries, who ran on a campaign about easing a suffocating cost of living crisis. And ultimately, it is easier for him to fan the flames of division than to acknowledge the ways in which he has betrayed those working class Americans, not just in this city, but across this country, and the ways in which he continues to betray them. Because we know that he would rather speak about me than speak about the legislation that he is shepherding through Washington, D.C.
He's a pro.
Legislation that will quite literally take health care away from Americans. Legislation that will steal food from hunger. Legislation that looks to build upon one of the largest transfers of wealth we've seen in recent history.
You can pause it at this point. We got it. So now it's lip service. But
he's very good.
He's very good at what he does. So, Tom, your thoughts on the president talking about we will get rid of him or any of that stuff, and then his reaction to it?
Well, what the president was answering a hypothetical with a hypothetical. And it's like, what if he walks up to you on a playground, sir, and hits you on the head with a stick? And what Trump looked at it and said, well, I guess I'm going to pick up on a bigger stick and I'm going to hit him back. And that's basically what you heard. And then you heard fact-based analysis. And by the way, it was really good to see DeSantis and Trump on that stage answering a question and being on the same side of something. Floridians wanted to see that. We voted for Trump for president, and we've got a great governor in DeSantis. We really wanted to see that unity. And when he's talking about Mandami, the madman of New York, the madman of New York is speaking as if he's already mayor.
He knows.
He is doing that on purpose. I'm already here. I'm already in power. And it's a very interesting, psychological ploy that he's putting on the voters. But what I think what Trump said was exactly right. Really? Okay. Well, if you're not going to go along with it, then I guess you're going to get arrested, dude. I guess, we're going to have to take action against you because you're in violation of a federal order. And what you have to remember is in New York City, he is trying to sow the seeds of chaos to get a bigger Marxist plan in place. because Mad Manny knows exactly what he's doing. He knows where Eric Adams got all those EBT cards. Remember those?
Of course.
$63 million a week or whatever that weird number was. And I'm going to have that number wrong. But remember all that during COVID? And it's like the rest of the nation was like, wow, what's going on? I said, hey, taxpayers of the United States of America, you are feeding New York. The government's not feeding New York. Every person in the rest of the United States who's a legal tax-paying citizen was feeding New York. So I like the fact that Trump just kind of stood up to him, but did it in a very casual way, and then pointed out, say, look, man, there's an awful lot of money going to New York. You want to mess with this? But I think Mad Manny wants the disorder that's going to come out of that.
Your thoughts on this?
Me? Oh, yeah. I think if I could give any advice to Donald Trump, I would stay the hell out of this election. Because within New York City, clearly, they're not a big fan of Trump. They do have TDS. Otherwise, they wouldn't be putting this Democratic Socialist / Communist / Jihadist / Islamist up for the candidate of the Democratic Party in New York City. So in my opinion, Trump, stay out of this thing. It's going to be a one-on-one battle between Mamdani and most likely Eric Adams. I also think Cuomo, sayonara, buddy. You had your chance. Get the hell out of this race. If this is a two-person race, Eric Adams does have a chance, the incumbent mayor of New York. If there's multiple people competing, get ready for Mandani to be the mayor of New York City. The juxtaposition of a Democratic Socialist jihadist immigrant mayor coming into the heart of capitalism, in the heart of America, in the heart of Wall Street, governing, using terms like, I just want economic justice, right? People over profits. We're just going to seize the means of production. Just like Karl Marx recommended. Nobody needs that much. We don't need billionaires. Hey, Mr. Mayor, New York City has the most billionaires in the world. Don't worry about that. So we're going to see what happens here, but all spotlight is going to be on what happens with Eric Adams and the rest of these candidates against this guy, Zohran.
Well, first, I picked up really, really quick on how he just said Donald Trump. He doesn't address him as president. He doesn't, show any type of respect for the office, which whatever. He could do whatever he wants. But the fact that he is openly saying, I am not, he said he's going to block ICE from doing their job. So he's basically saying he's going to pledge to harbor illegals, that the city has already been going downhill because of the whole sanctuary city nonsense. I also think, and by the way, Cuomo, what's Andrew Cuomo polling at right now, Pat? He's at what, 4? He's the lowest percentage. He's just going to run interference, which is going to help Mamdani even more. If he had any decency, any sense, get the hell out of the race. Let it get down to him and Adams, which I can't even believe that it's going to be down to, pick the lesser of the two evils, which I already hate that freaking saying. But you know what? Like I said before, let him win. He seems like he's going to be the favorite. Let him do it. And then I want him, when ICE comes to get illegals, try to block them and then put his ass and arrest his ass. That's what I want to happen. He's talking all that tough shit right now, but when it comes down to it, do it when you're in, and we're going to see what's going to happen. Because listen, he's going to win. Adams, they're not going to vote for Adams. That's the future, is that guy right there. And just the way that you heard him speak, eloquent and breaking everything down, I wish he rapped it. I would have enjoyed it more, but this is it. Yeah.
This week he was talking about buses a lot, talking about transportation, public transportation. Who in history said, you vote for me, I'll make the trains run on time?
Yeah, that was in Italy.
Benito Mussolini. It was a very simple thing. You people don't have what you need, I'll make the trains run on time. And they elected a man who would partner with Hitler.
Great.
But I mean, look, I'm not going as far as this guy's going to partner with Hitler and resurrect him or do something like that.
I'm talking about the people. They're reacting to this.
If you're going into like AI is going to find a way to resurrect Hitler and you're going that dark, Tom, I'm not going that area right now with you. Just want you to know this. I'm not going that far. That's a little bit extreme position. But no,
I'll be over here if you need me.
I know fully what you're saying, and you're right, because God knows who he can partner up with. Do you know if it's legal for the U.S. government to denaturalize a U.S. citizen? Do you know if it's legal to do so?
I think there are. Didn't Ethel and Julius Rosenberg kind of subject to some of that? The atomic spy case?
You showed me, so I don't want to say anything.
It is legal.
Yes.
Okay. To denaturalize a U.S. citizen, but only for specific reasons. So now let's see what that is. Go a little bit lower, Rob. Legal grounds for it This is the breaks down exactly what's there. Fraud or misrepresentation. Okay, that's not going to be the case here. Legal procurement, if the person wasn't actually eligible for naturalization. Membership in subservice groups. Okay, if the person joins a group like the Communist Party. Like the Communist Party or terrorist organization within
Or
5
a
years of
terrorist
becoming
organization.
a citizen. Or military dishonor if a person gained citizenship through military and is later dishonorably discharged before serving honorably for 5 years. Their citizenship can be revoked. Now, was this guy born in the States? Was Mamdani born in the
he
States?
was born in Sudan or Uganda or something.
I thought it
Where was
like
Mamdani born?
I
Let's
thought
see
it was
where
an
he was
Asian.
born. Okay, he was born in Kampala, Uganda.
Uganda.
Okay. So
Uganda?
there you have it. The reality of it is he has the ability, if he wanted to be able to do something with Mamdani. I don't think he should. I don't think he should because if you thought George Floyd was a hero, this guy will be on the cover of every single magazine around the world that will turn him into a Nelson Mandela type of a figure if they do something like that. But long term, here's a crazy thought for you. Long term, I think a part of where if somebody is here and if you truly want to protect the Constitution, what America was founded on, you don't want it to happen to what's going on with UK. They're begging people to have kids. There's a story that came out saying the UK government is begging for people to have kids. I don't know what the story, there it is. Right there, look at this one here. It says UK government urges young people to have more children amid plummeting birth rates. Go a little bit lower, Rob. Plummeting birth rates, okay? I don't care about the feet, Rob. Go a little bit lower if you could. He's trying to say if you tickle the feet, you get pregnant. Zoom in right there, Rob. The latest figures from the Office of National Statistics showed in 2023, British fertility rate dropped to 1.44. You know how scary that is? A record low since the government began tracking this in 38 and far below the replacement level of 2.1. We know what the government says. Who cares? We're going to just invite more people from crazy countries and allow as many Muslims and Islam and people to send them as many migrants that want to come here, send them. We're going to make it up for that part. Where am I going with this? If America is going to be able to protect itself long term from people like Mamdani running for office, I don't think that needs to be possible. The guy's got a pure, like the language is all communism. I don't think it ought to be possible. But at the same time,
Well,
I don't think anything's going to happen to the guy. I think the guy's going to get elected, and the guy's going to cause some damage to New York, and a lot of people are going to move to Florida, and they could potentially cause Florida to be purple again instead of being where it's at right now. I think that's what could end up happening.
like that.
Adam, final thoughts before I go to the next story.
Well, I'm so glad that you pulled that up. Can we just show that one more time? What was the sort of the exclusionary parts? What was it said that you can be denaturalized. Rob, can I see that one more time just before I make my point? It says a person can actually be eligible for naturalization. Where was it? Okay, if a person has joined a group like the Communist Party or a terrorist organization within 5 years of becoming a citizen. I'm so glad you found that, PBD, because, you know, he does have what's known as an out. I'm not a communist. I'm just a democratic socialist, guys. It's not a big deal. I'm not a terrorist. I support Hamas, but they're freedom fighters, guys. Come on. What are we talking about here? River to the sea, no big deal. So I do agree that he should have to win at the ballot box. I don't think there should be a referee involved in the middle of basically eliminating this guy from the race. But you bring up a good point with the kids. So I think it was Gaddafi, fact check this, who said, listen, you guys in the West, we're gonna slowly take over. Why? Because they're gonna come from the women's wombs of Islam. Fact check that statement from Gaddafi. Now you have Muslims having way more kids than Christians. So say what you want to say. America is a Christian country. It's a Christian country. I'm a Jew saying this. I'm so glad I live in America, in a Christian country. Yeah, sure, it was based on Judeo-Christian values. But we're going to run into a clash of cultures here when we start to see full-on Islamic jihadist type governing officials in major metropolitan cities. It's already happening in Minnesota. We see what's going on in Dearborn. It's about to happen in New York. We're seeing it in Texas. At some point, America's going to have to take a look at Europe and be like, damn, Brussels just got taken over. They're praying 5 times a day in London. They're doing this whole thing. And in my opinion, some red-blooded Americans are going to say, hold on here, buddy. This is John Wayne country, okay? We're America here. We're a Christian country. You can get aboard, you can assimilate, but a lot of times these people want to come in and populate and dominate. And in my opinion, we're heading towards a clash of cultures and a clash of civilization. And we're going to see it here right in America because Europe did not stop it. And we'll see what happens.
We're learning a lot about you today. We're learning that you're big fans of grandmas and you're
John Wayne.
a big
John
supporter
Wayne.
of Christians. And,
Yeah.
if you're ready for it, if you want to repeat after me, Lord, I ask you that you open your heart to your truth and hold hands with all the people around you. And if you want to accept
I
Jesus
got nobody
Christ as your
around me, but
Savior,
okay.
Adam, we will receive you. We will receive you. I think there's going to be a lot of
Thank you.
regulation,
Well-
but we'll put in a good word.
And
for
John
you.
Wayne. And
I
that's a
appreciate
big
that, guys.
l'chaim to you,
Yeah.
partner.
Thank you.
All right, so
We're the OG Christians, those Jews.
Yeah, it's funny. Once a year, we host an event called the Vault Conference. If you're somebody that either runs a business, you're a married couple, husband and wife, life's been kind of flatlining lately. There's not been too much things that are growing in ways, business, personal, financial, and you kind of want to call a timeout and get away and spend 4 days with 3,000 other couples and nearly 12,000 people in the same room together to strategize the future of your life with your kids, being intentional about it. I highly, highly recommend you attend the Vault Conference. It's the only conference you can go to where the attendees are comfortable talking about business, are comfortable talking about money, are comfortable talking about politics, are comfortable talking about family values, and no one cares. No one walks on eggshells. You go to some business conferences, oh, we can't talk about politics. We talk about everything. If that's appealing to you, do whatever you can to go to the Vault Conference. Here's a video I did with my patient. Here's a doctor sitting down as a therapist, sitting down with his patient, and guess who his patient is? Rob, go ahead and play the clip.
Matthew, who's my next patient? Oh, this one's gonna be tough. Oh, I gotta take the jacket off for this one. Okay, so what's been happening lately?
Oh, nothing positive. I'll tell you that, Doc. Just, work is crazy. My marriage is hanging on by a thread. I know we talked about that last time I was here. The kids are freaking screaming and yelling all the time. The business is bleeding cash. I can't breathe. So what do I do?
Let me ask you a question. When's the last time you and your wife sat down and actually mapped out your next 5, 10, 15 moves, personal life and your business life?
Never. The only thing we've ever mapped out was our Disneyland trip. Just like which rides to go on.
That's one day though, but I'm talking like 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. You guys have never done that?
Never.
Do you guys read books together? Do you spend a lot of time reading lately or no?
Oh, I don't know about her, but the last thing I read was the back of a shampoo bottle while I was in the
Yeah, it's not enough.
bathroom. I know, but you should see the stuff that's in there. It's crazy.
It's actually really interesting stuff, but I'm talking like life and business.
No.
Nothing.
Nope.
Okay.
We don't have time.
Does this sound familiar to you? Do you listen to anything he said and say, that's a little bit of me? When is the last time you and your wife took a time out, went away to a business conference to identify your next 5, 10, 15 moves? If you've never done that, we host a conference once a year called the Vault Conference from September 8th to the 11th. If you just watched this, you laughed a little bit, you giggled, but you said, that's kind of me. Get registered. I look forward to seeing you and your spouse September 8th through the 11th at the Gaylord Orlando.
All right.
Well
There you
done,
go.
team.
Yes. Guys, go to thevaultconference.com. Go to thevaultconference.com. Get registered. Get yourself a ticket. If there's one thing I can tell you since 21 years old, I've gone to 4 to 10 business conferences every year purely to recreate myself. Again, go to thevaultconference.com. Get yourself and your spouse a ticket. Let's spend 4 days to get in Orlando, September 8th through the 11th. Cannot wait to see you there.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.